Have you ever trusted someone who seemed perfect, only to discover they were hiding dark secrets? This is the story of James, a father who just wanted to give love another chance. But little did he know, the person entering his life had a cruel plan. And what his son Liam revealed on the wedding day changed everything. Get ready for a spine-chilling story. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, because here we tell stories you'll never forget. James was an honest and dedicated man. A widower for 5 years, his life revolved around his 10-year-old son, Liam. The two were inseparable, but James couldn't deny the weight of loneliness. One day, during a community event at his local church, his life began to take a turn. It was there he met Stella, a woman who seemed like she had stepped out of a dream. Charming, with a warm smile and kind words, she introduced herself with an ease that captivated everyone around her. From the very first glance, Stella seemed to know exactly how to talk to James. They talked about work, family, and dreams. She showed genuine interest in his life, especially in Liam. At first, James hesitated to introduce her to his son, but Stella insisted, saying she wanted to meet him because family meant everything to her. When they finally met, Stella was all smiles and affectionate gestures, but Liam felt something different. Even though James was convinced Stella was perfect, Liam couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. She looked at him in a way that felt strange, as if she were sizing him up. When they were alone, her smile would vanish completely, replaced by a cold, calculating stare. Liam tried to tell his dad he didn't like her, but James brushed it off as childish jealousy. As time went on, Stella became more present in their lives. She knew exactly how to win James' heart, always showing up at the right moments and saying exactly what he wanted to hear. Liam watched from the sidelines, feeling helpless. While James thought he was building a second chance at happiness, Liam was certain there was something seriously wrong with this woman. Stella's visits became more frequent. When James was around, she was kind and caring, treating Liam like the sweetest stepson. But as soon as his dad left, her demeanor changed. Snide comments started creeping in. "You should be more respectful to me. Your dad deserves someone who makes him happy. Or boys like you just get in the way." Liam tried to stand up to her, but Stella always had a threat ready. "If you tell your dad anything, he'll never believe you," she whispered, her gaze freezing him in place. Liam started avoiding being alone with her, but it was impossible to escape her entirely. Meanwhile, James only saw Stella's good side. She began suggesting subtle changes, like how a boarding school might be the perfect opportunity for Liam. According to her, it would prepare him for the future while giving the couple more time together. James thought she was simply trying to help, but Liam knew better. One afternoon, Stella took things further when James wasn't home. "Do you really think you matter here? Once I marry your dad, you'll be out of my life for good. Got it?" Liam was terrified. He needed to tell his dad, but how could he when Stella seemed to have everything under control? Liam was consumed by doubt, but knew something had to be done. He had no idea her true plan was even more sinister than he could imagine. Stella's behavior grew increasingly frightening to Liam. He no longer had any doubts that she wasn't who she claimed to be, but now he needed proof. Her verbal jabs and threats became constant, always when James wasn't around. One day, Liam overheard Stella speaking in hushed tones on the phone, thinking she was alone. "Everything's going as planned. I'll have his money soon, and that little brat won't be a problem." Liam's heart raced. He didn't know exactly what she was planning, but it was clear she wasn't there for love. Determined to uncover the truth, Liam began observing Stella closely. On another occasion, he caught her rummaging through his dad's desk, photographing important documents and contracts. She was clearly setting something up. But what? One night, as Stella cooked dinner for James and Liam, she brought up the idea of boarding school again. It would be great for Liam. A prestigious school can open doors we can't even imagine. James, still under her spell, started seriously considering the idea. Desperate, Liam decided to search Stella's room while she was out running errands. On her computer, he found an open email that made his blood run cold. Stella was planning to marry James, transfer part of his assets to her account, and then send Liam off to a boarding school far away. She even mentioned selling their home. Liam froze in shock. His dad had to know, but how could he prove it? Stella was such a skilled manipulator that he feared no one would believe him. The next day, Stella noticed Liam's defeated demeanor. "I hope you're ready to say goodbye to your dad," she taunted. The pressure was unbearable. Liam knew time was running out. There was less than a week until the wedding. He had to act fast before Stella destroyed everything he and his dad had built together. Stella ramped up her provocations and threats. One afternoon, while James was at work, she grabbed Liam by the arm and hissed with a cruel smile, "You'll never win. Nobody believes kids like you. Once your dad and I are married, he'll forget all about you. You're nothing but a burden." Liam held back tears, but the pain in his chest was almost unbearable. That evening, while Stella was at the salon making final preparations for the wedding, Liam made a bold move. He needed more evidence. Returning to her computer, he found messages between Stella and an accomplice. They discussed how to manipulate James and mentioned bank transfers, even using phrases like eliminating the kid, a clear reference to sending Liam away. Liam snapped photos of everything with his phone. Later, Stella returned, glowing with excitement about the wedding plans, while Liam remained silent, feigning indifference. He realized she thought she had already won, but that gave him strength. He started formulating a plan to tell his dad, even though he knew Stella might react unpredictably. The peak of tension came the morning before the wedding. Stella, thinking she was alone, made a phone call to her accomplice. "Tomorrow is the big day. Once the papers are signed, I'll start the process to get that boy out of the way. James won't even know what hit him." Liam, hiding behind the door, heard every word. It was time to act. On the wedding day, as everyone prepared for the ceremony, Liam waited for an opportunity to talk to James. He knew that if he waited, it would be too late. The boy, with his heart racing and evidence in hand, understood that what he would do that day could save his father and forever change their lives. The day of the wedding dawned sunny, but Liam felt as if a storm was brewing. He knew time was running out. With sweaty palms and a pounding heart, he decided to speak to his father before the ceremony began. James was busy with last-minute arrangements, and Stella, as always, wore her mask of the perfect bride. She looked radiant, but Liam knew that behind her smile lay a coldness only he had seen. As James adjusted his tie in the bedroom, Liam walked in, holding the phone where he had recorded all the evidence. "Dad, I need to talk to you. It's urgent," the boy said, his voice trembling. James looked at his son with curiosity, but also with a hint of impatience. "Liam, now's not a good time. The ceremony is about to start." But Liam insisted, his eyes brimming with tears. "Dad, please. This is important. It's about Stella." The seriousness in his son's voice made James pause. He sat down on the bed and asked Liam to explain. Taking a deep breath, Liam told him everything. The threats, the mistreatment, the conversations he overheard, and finally, he showed him the messages and emails on the phone. James sat in silence, reading every word with a look of shock and disbelief. "This can't be true," James muttered, almost to himself. He wanted to believe it was all a misunderstanding, but the evidence was right in front of him. Each message confirmed what Liam was saying. James's heart broke as he realized that, in trying to build a new family, he had put his son in danger. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" he asked, his eyes filled with regret. Liam, with a shaky voice, replied, "I tried, Dad, but you wouldn't listen. I thought you'd never believe me." James pulled his son into a tight embrace, feeling the weight of guilt on his shoulders. He knew he had to act immediately. The ceremony was about to begin, and Stella, dressed in white, waited at the altar with a triumphant smile. James appeared with Liam by his side, his face set with determination. When Stella approached to ask what was going on, James interrupted her. "Stella, we need to talk." "Now." He led her to a private room where he confronted her with the evidence. Stella tried to deny it, but when she realized she was cornered, her facade cracked. "Do you think someone like you could do this alone? Without me, you'd just be a single dad, lost and pathetic," she spat, revealing all her bitterness. James, keeping his anger in check, replied, "You will never come near me or my son again." He walked out of the room, leaving Stella behind. As the guests began to sense something was wrong, James called off the wedding on the spot, briefly explaining that he had made a huge mistake. Later, as they drove home together, James looked at Liam and said, "I'm so sorry, son. I'll never let anyone hurt you like that again." Liam smiled, relieved to finally be free from the nightmare. They both knew there would be challenges ahead, but together, father and son were ready to start anew. As for Stella, she would face the consequences of her actions. The evidence Liam had gathered was enough to press charges against her for fraud and attempted financial manipulation. For James, it wasn't just a victory. It was a reminder of how costly blind trust can be. In the days that followed, James worked to rebuild his relationship with Liam. They spent more time together, sharing moments they hadn't in years. Liam opened up about the fear and loneliness he had felt, while James admitted that his desire to rebuild a family had blinded him. He apologized to his son repeatedly, promising that nothing and no one would ever come between them again. The experience, though painful, brought James and Liam closer than ever. They realized that what they had, a bond of love and trust, was unbreakable. And so, this story ends with an important lesson. True happiness lies with those who truly care for us. If you believe in the power of unconditional love between a father and son, share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think about this story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more emotional and inspiring stories like this one. Turn on notifications so you won't miss the next video. And of course, share this story with someone who could use a lesson about the value of family and trust. See you in the next video.